Hello and good morning, guys. Back at it again. Over the next few days, like I said, we're going to go over rating specs for Warlocks. Rather than bunching it all up and talking a mile a minute for 30 minutes on each spec, I'm just going to do a much shorter video and still talk a mile a minute. Just like the Felguard and the Shadow Destro video, which will be linked above somewhere right now. This will not be a very well scripted and edited video, but rather just going to shoot off the hip here and give you guys my honest opinion on the specs now that TBC is finally out. Now that TBC is finally out and I've been able to rate as much as I possibly can with each spec. I'll also be building the talent build as well during the talk on each spec, and I'll explain it as well, so you can see why I pick what I do instead of just being like, here, pick this. If you don't like something, well, oh well, just my opinion. Let's beef it out in the comments, or better yet, in the Warlock Discord, where you can find any and all questions and content regarding Warlocks, and of course, the math on these specs. Let's get started. Shadow Destro. Oh dear Shadow Destro. The original powerhouse spec for us Warlocks. While it seems that it's been pushed aside for Phase 1 due to these glorious newfound specs, this video is for you diehard Shadow Destro fans. In a world swarmed by Fire Destro locks, an elite few decide to go Shadow Destro, and if you're one of them, then have no fear because you will still be pumping and topping meters, alright? While it's true that Shadow Destro does not pump as hard as either Fire Destro or Felguard, the Felguard spec isn't that much ahead of Shadow, sitting much closer to Demo in comparison to Fire Destro. We know Fire Destro is king, and that's no surprise. But for some of us that choose to not go Spellfire and stick with the Shadow counterparts, I'm here to tell you that you will be okay. Shadow Destro is a very powerful spec that should be taken very serious in any raid situation. Yes, fire is more, but go take a look at the logs for yourself. While you see many Fire Destros up there, and some Demos, you still see many Warlocks with 99 and 100 parses as Shadow Destro, and with some RNG on the side, you may even clap some Fire Destros. Single target is bonkers this Shadow, getting the biggest and hardest hitting crits in the game from all your powerful Shadow Bolts. The AoE also is bananas and significantly better than Fire Destro, with the perks of never needing to swap your demons around. It's a simple spec, just simply putting up your curse and spamming Shadow Bolts, with immolates depending on how you build your spec. But as mentioned, that simple spec puts up massive numbers. I like to pause here and say once again that each of these three main specs, Fire Destro, Shadow Destro, and Demonology, are so close in damage that you're safe picking whichever you feel comfortable with, and you'll have no issues racing those hunters to the top of the meters. So, for those choosing this route, please don't fret and think since you're not spamming incinerates that you're screwed, because that's just not true. Many Warlocks, including myself, choose to not go fire for Phase 1, whether it's gold related or we're building for T5. In any matter, you can go Shadow Destro and keep up with everybody. Speaking on T5, Shadow starts to really pump, but we'll say that for the T5 videos down the road. I just wanted to mention it because many Warlocks that are Shadow currently are simply Shadow because of T5 and the strength and synergy between multiple Shadow Destro Warlocks. The more gear you guys get, the closer the gap to Fire and Shadow become. Another very big benefit to Shadow Destro is that you have this lovely talent called Improved Shadow Bolt. Bam! Otherwise known as ISB. The more you crit, the more this is up. And as you guys know, this helps out every other Warlock, well, Shadow Warlock, or anybody doing Shadow Bolts, Shadow damage. And of course your Shadow Priest, which in turn helps your healers out. Since the more damage your S-Priest is doing, the more mana your healers get back. A very big plus to Shadow Destro, in my opinion, this is the best part of being Shadow Destro, and that's the gearing. Your gear and tailoring pieces are not tying you to just one spec, like crafting Spellfire does for your Fire Destro locks. Instead, you can freely swap to other very powerful Warlock builds with literally no penalty. You can go Shadow, Felguard Destro, you can go Shadow, Felguard Spec, Destro Nightfall, and even Affliction if you so choose. This is a bigger deal to me, as I get bored immediately with spec and swap specs pretty much every raid. This is a bigger deal to me personally, as I get bored immediately. This is a bigger deal to me, as I get bored immediately with specs, and I swap specs pretty much every raid. This, of course, is subjective and personal preference. In any matter, Shadow Destro is very good in spot in T4, and it gets better in T5 and beyond. But for now, yes, you will be behind Fire Pumpers for a little bit. But don't lose hope. Stay spamming those bolts, my guys, and your time will be here sooner than you think. All right? So let's quickly go over the build real quick. As for the build, guys, let's get into it real quick. The Demonology, nothing's going to be an Affliction. The Demonology side is going to be the same thing that you do for every kind of DS build. You're just going to simply do whatever you can to get the DS. You can put points in here if you want instead of here, but it doesn't matter. This could be open world farming or something. Now, as for the destruction side, we're going to put 5 in Improved Shadow Bolt. You can put 5 into Cataclysm and then remove the points that you'll have and improve Immolate instead and not run Conflag. I choose to not do that, but you definitely can if you want to. I don't suggest it. I suggest to go like this. You have ISB for ISB reasons, Bane for the cast time, Crit, Shadowburn for obvious reasons. You want Destructive Reach for the reach and the 10% threat reduction. Intensity down to Ruin. This is, you know, we love Ruin. This is our bread and butter, right? So, and then 4 points into here, 5 points into Emberstorm. These allow you to keep up Immolate full time, and you get a major DPS increase. I like it. I like it a lot. This is what I do. I like it. I like the fire. I keep Immolate at full time. You can flag like you would with Fire Destro. If you're moving And your Immolate is like halfway done, can flag if you don't need mana. If you need mana, tap first. If you don't need mana, I can flag and I'll Shadowburn third if I have room to do that, okay? Another option people go with, I don't really do this, right? You can take these back out and remove your points in Emberstorm and put them in the Cataclysm and then build down if you want. Or rather, instead of doing that, you can go like this. Take your 5 from Improve Immolate, put the 5 up here, put the 5 in here, the 3 in here, and so on. So you need one more filler point. Can go. I think you just have one filler point. Yep, put it there. You can do this as well. This is a powerful build. This was used on private servers a lot, and also the old school private server build with Nether Protection and Soul Leech is worthless. I'm not even going to show you this spec because I will never suggest anybody do that. Maybe back into Sunwell or back into Black Temple when shit gets rough, but I highly doubt it. So that's what I would do. Actually, no, I wouldn't do this. This is not the one I would do. I was just giving you an alternative one if you so choose to run Cataclysm. Like I said, I would not run Cataclysm to the point where I didn't even want to show it, but I don't want to get my head ripped off for not mentioning it. But this is a spec that I would prefer. I mean, this is a spec that I would suggest, my guys. Look, we got Friends down here, guys. You guys remember Friends? That shit was lit. Yep, that's the build I would choose, guys. All right. Good luck with those Shadow Bolts, my dudes. Peace.